everyone. Welcome back to Sports Coverage with me, Adi and Rishi. Guys, the first test done, and Michael Won just looked as clueless as ever. I think heading into every India-Australia test series with a lot of confidence, he makes these predictions, and every time India go to Australia, it just looks funny, right? Like, and it's happened again because India have not only beaten Australia, but they've wiped them off the floor. 295 run victory. That's massive. Jasprit Bumrah, his captaincy again. Will of course we'll just touch upon that. But overall, I think in India really put together a team performance. A lot of different players contributing to this victory. I think uh, it really sort of suggests that okay, we are young, we are inexperienced, but we can get the job done. I had my doubts. I'm sure you guys did too, but yeah, they've responded. They've turned up and responded. But again, it isn't to say that these youngsters have sort of come out in all guns blazing and have done extremely well. Yeah, you can say that about Yashasvi Jaiswal. He always scores big hundreds. But I'm not not particularly saying that about the rest. However, they've all chipped in and they've played their roles. Yeah, we if you have been catching us on our lives, we did go through a bunch of the day's plays, and finally yesterday on the final day, it was day four basically of the test match. India needed 7 wickets, and it wasn't easy. Let's put it that way. It wasn't easy, especially when Travis Head was out there batting uh, with Mitch Marsh. So it looked a little tense, and it looked like if these guys could see out the day, you never know. But of course, that wasn't to be because again, Jasprit Bumrah comes back to remove Head, right? The guy who was looking extremely good. So yeah, don't know what else to say about Bumrah, but just on the test, Rishi, like didn't expect this. I didn't expect such a big win. Although you always back India, and at least that's how I look at it. But I didn't think India would go and win so well and have such a big win. Surprised by the first test.
I mean, I can't lie if I said I wasn't surprised. Like, of course, I expected us to give a fairly tough competition. I think over the recent years, I think we've given Australia the most like challenge in terms of tests at least. But I didn't expect it to be this one-sided. Going into the tests, like we were coming off a pretty bad series. Like our like performances were quite underwhelming. Like more than that, our attitudes were quite underwhelming. So it was a question mark on a lot of things. Like we weren't our body language, our commitments, all of that was put under scrutiny. So coming from that perspective, I think it's like a landmark statement victory. Like, is this our biggest win in Sena countries? I can't recall.
I don't know.
I
I,
honestly, off the top of my mind, I think this has been the most, like, this has been the biggest win for us in the, I think, yeah,
yeah,
I
in
can't,
recent times in Australia for sure. Like it's
yeah,
huge.
again, like, that says a lot. Like, and the fact that youngsters like Nitish Kumar Reddy, like Yashasvi Jaiswal coming in and really playing not just well, but they showed the maturity. They showed that they can handle different types of situations. Like Nitish Kumar Reddy had to come in the first couple of innings. It was completely different scenarios. Like he had to come in and grind out. Like he had to pace himself. He had to survive in the first innings. On the other hand, second innings he had to like go aggressive, and I felt he did both of those roles really well. And Yashasvi Jaiswal, although he got out cheaply in the first innings, I felt he did really well to come back to grind it out. And fair play, I felt KL Rahul also played an amazing innings. Like the fact that I think technically he was superior than every Australian batsman. Like he played comfortably. He never seemed bothered. Like the second innings, especially, like he was a class above every Australian batsman at least. And I think, yeah, like I have been a critic of him in the past, but I feel it's only fair that you give him the credit where it's due. And I like Oh, it's unfortunate that he might go down the pecking order. Like he might come again in the middle order once Rohit Sharma comes back. But I really hope he does stick around because he deserves. He definitely deserves a spot for like at least the next two, three,
Yeah.
four tests.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma's arrived in Australia, and now it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to KL. But Adi, I mean, just again before I come back, of course, Nitish Kumar Reddy, kudos to him. Like he's done a great job. He's bro, he scored runs. He's got his first Test wicket. It's nice, and he got a good, I mean, a very important wicket. I think, and again, given the context of the game of Mitch Marsh, um, he just seems right, bro. Like he just seems really right. His attitude, his approach, everything that you heard Virat Kohli in his speech as well say a lot of good things about him while handing him his cap. But the guy just seems like he fits. Like this is the first real time that I've seen Nitish Kumar Reddy in red ball cricket. Of course, saw him in the Duleep Trophy, but this was, I think, a great sign. Just in terms of character, I think he's got a lot of things right. And for me, like I think that goes a long way. If you have the right character, especially in Test cricket, I think you'll go a long way. And he's shown that. So yeah, credit to him. Adi, yeah, if you had to pick out a man of the match from this game for India, so many good performances. You had Kohli scoring 100, Jaiswal scoring 100, Bumrah with all those wickets, Nitish Kumar Reddy, of course, he not the big runs, but again very crucial, valuable runs at the back end, both in especially the first one because we were really struggling, and he scored 40 odd to get us to that 150 mark. So if you had to pick one man of the match for India, who would it be?
I think I would give. It's a bit tough. Like I would give. I think Jaiswal and Bumrah equally because I can't really separate with both because Bumrah did very important start in the first innings of the first game. I mean, first innings because when we went with only 150, obviously Australia would have come into that game with a lot of confidence in that innings with a lot of confidence because 150 in Perth in Australia it's never enough. Like especially at the back end, coming. I mean, going into their batting, India at the back end. So I feel like Bumrah was important at that time, but so were all bowlers. And when it comes to batting, I think Jaiswal in the second innings facing tough conditions. I don't think it was that easy. Him and KL Rahul played the entire day almost, and like it was pretty tough to sit there and play the entire day because no other batsman did. Like for both teams, you go back in the entire game. I think it was KL and Jaiswal who faced the most number of balls, especially in the second innings, and getting such a great lead, scoring a century in your second inning in Australia. It's only some very rarely you find it. Like you might only find guys like Virat doing it. So it's a huge this thing. If it was me, I would just slightly give it to Jaiswal just because I feel like with Indian bowlers, I feel like all were good enough. Today, I think Siraj was better on the second innings. I think he got the important wickets again. So I would give it to Jaiswal because him being a debutant, coming into your first test, tough conditions, sitting and batting the entire day, it's not really easy to do that. And first innings, I do believe the conditions did favor the bowlers a bit more. So I would give it to Jaiswal just for the fact that being a 22-year-old going against Stark and standing against them, I think it's very rarely you find these kind of players. So I would just tip it to Jaiswal.
Yeah, and again, Siraj, you mentioned, bro. Like, I think you have to mention him, especially for his second innings performance, where the pitch you can see it had almost been like baked on by the sun. It's not doing as much as it did on day one, but getting that important wicket of Smith, and that's the thing with Siraj. I feel like when there's just a little in it for him, just a little, he doesn't need a lot. He can get the ball seaming. So and he did that, and he got Smith of a beauty. I thought, is he India's next mainstay? Quick, Rishi. If we Shami, is never reliable, especially with his fitness. It's been the case throughout his career. Is Bumrah looking for somebody like a Siraj? Is Siraj going to be the next long term, at least for the next 4 5 years, the guy to bowl alongside Bumrah?
See, if we're going by recent performances, if we're going the way he bowled in these two innings, I felt he was really good. Like he was hitting the deck, he was hitting the right lengths, he was hitting in those areas which, like the Australian batsmen were uncomfortable. So, like if we can keep this up, I would more than be happy. Like to have Siraj accompanying Bumrah. The only concern for me is that he can be a little bit erratic, like especially when it comes to left arm batsmen. It just looks like he can be a bit erratic because he goes down the leg. He go like there's like I don't see that level of consistency. Like, of course, he is still has time to improve. He has been improving. I think he's one of the most improved cricketers in the like our setup. Like the way he started off, the kind of bowler that he was, I think he's come a long way. So I think if he
Mhm.
can like fix that, he doesn't even have to do a lot. Like this is a relatively small fix, and I think that will this fix will actually improve him a lot because he does hit the right areas. Like, he does get the ball seaming. So if he can just fix this up, I think he'll be a really good partner. Like I think Bumrah and Siraj can really strike up a good partnership for a long time. But it's just that he does like this is a glaring fix needed to be issued. So if I mean fix needed to be addressed. So if he can address this slight one concern, I think he is a really good bowler.
Yep, bro. And I think you can't go without mentioning that catch from Dhruv Jurel of Mitchell Stark at short leg. What a take, bro! Like what I haven't. He just I don't know what happened. It almost felt like he stuck a hand out and it just weirdly stuck. And it's one of those which
Okay,
is,
which one was the better catch for you? Like that or the McSweeney and Labuschagne one in the
bro,
first inning?
any day Jurel, bro. Like at short leg, it's not easy to take that, bro. Like McSweeney and Labuschagne, it's also luck. Like obviously, like the fact that there is that ricochet, and then yeah, you on the second attempt you could get it in the slips. But
But to be
bro,
fair, both of them were sharp. Like
no,
as
they
in like
were
for your
sharp.
experience, they were
No,
they were both going ready for it.
I agree, bro. But that, bro, in at short, like if you've played any form of cricket and you stand either in silly point or short leg, you know how fast the ball comes to you.
Yeah, that's true.
There is very little time to react, and it's not like he was playing a defensive stroke where it's gonna bobble off the pad and like one of those inside edges that hits the pad and comes. He flicked it like it was a proper shot that he played, and it's not one of those like when you're sometimes standing in short leg, some batsmen try to sweep or like they try to flick and it just comes into your body and you catch it. It's not even one of those. It is literally away from your body and it's a proper catch. It's
That's true.
not there is probably some element of luck, but it's also his reactions and how quickly he gets to the ball and how he moves his arm. It's so bro, I think it's one of the best catches I have seen in a long time, especially like in that area in short leg slip, like especially to a spinner. Bro, what a catch, what a take. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it for a second. So I was just like, it was mad. And I didn't watch it live. So if I'd watched it live, I would have gone crazy. But yeah, what a take, Dhruv Jurel. So again, Adi, you think that was better than the McSweeney one, the Labuschagne McSweeney one?
I think both. Bro. I think for me it was McSweeney, Labuschagne, just for the fact that you're catching it off another catch, bro. Like it's like I don't think that was a wicket. Like it was like McSweeney went in for the dive. It was like very hard hit, and you see he could fumble, and Labuschagne reacting to it because not everyone reacts to a dive of another player, and I feel like that's the difference because you look at anyone like if you're standing next to a fielder, he's gonna dive. You just stand there. You don't dive along with him or like you don't react that quickly because for the fact that okay, McSweeney is there, he's gonna catch it. That instantly you're like okay, you're going for the catch because he spilled it out. I think that's just better based on that because I feel like a lot of people would be flat-footed in that same scenario, and I think Labuschagne getting a catch out of literally nothing just it's a bit higher because I've seen catches like this before. I don't think this is the first time I've seen a catch like Dhruv Jurel. I've seen other players getting this similar amount like catches. Like just you put your hand out, it comes to your hand, right? So I've seen Glenn Phillips do this for New Zealand. It's literally happened before. So I feel like this was very with Labuschagne was very very snappy. Just you don't have much time because your natural reaction is that you just wait for the other player to dive and catch. So I would just say Labuschagne's was better. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, fair enough, but bro, like I just don't know. I can't get over the Jurel catch. Just something about it is just stunning. But yeah, we've got a warm game in the middle before the second test, before the pink ball test. So yeah, we've got about 10 days. December 6th is when we kick off the next test, and there's a good chunk of time for India to rest, regather. It's going to be interesting to see who we play in that warm up game.
President's 11.
You guys want to see any? Do you guys want to see any particular players in that game?
I mean, hopefully Rohit Sharma gets some game time. I'd like it,
Yeah, I
like
wouldn't. Yeah,
you know that
I
he's
agree.
gonna come slot in the opening. So if anything, give him the most game time. And to be honest, if we can give players like Mukesh Kumar, if we can give players like Ishwaran also, I think that would be really good because I think they are here to be part of the setup in the long term future. And like it's these games, it's these kind of games that they will get an exposure. And I feel they like it's not like they're taking up like all of our spots. I don't think there's any harm in giving like Mukesh Kumar because to be fair, they seemed good even in the warm up games before the first test. So I think it'll be encouraging if you can give them also a couple of
I
overs and
really think so too, bro. Like you have to get the quicks in because
yeah.
it's not. You don't know if every quick is going to play every test. It's not going to be easy, especially after the next one because you got the next 3 4 tests sort of all slotted in together. It's going to be hard. It's going to be interesting to see if Bumrah can keep himself fit for all 5 tests. And yeah, I think it's a great chance for some of the other quicks to get a go. Prasid Krishna, Mukesh Kumar, all these guys, Akash, I think they'll all get a good run. And of course, Rohit Sharma, um, he needs some time out there because to come back straight into a pink ball test not going to be easy. Again, this was um, an interesting sort of. It was an interesting wicket because the ball was moving laterally in the first inning. So yeah, I think expect some of the same as well in the second test with the under the lights. Um, Rumors about Shami, of course. Quickly, Adi, what do you think? Mohammad Shami going to come back? Potentially, because but it's a weird one. He's bowled enough overs for Bengal. I've heard a lot of people say, get him back, get him back. I don't know who it was. Just can't come not coming to my mind. But yeah, some pundits also calling for him to come back. I think if he's bowled enough, it's time to have him back.
I think it's not. I mean, going off from the first game, I don't think you need to rush him in, and that's my only
Mm,
thing. I think it's going to be a long test series. You have 5 games, and going into I think the next game is a ping ball test. I think he would have been more useful in that game,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
if he was balling under the lights with the ping ball. I think he would have been very dangerous. I would rather have him over, Harshad Rana as my, in my top
yeah.
three seamers. So for the ping ball test, if it was later down the line, I would have wanted him to come back. I don't think he'll be able to play the next game anyways. At the end of the day, I don't know what's his medical record. I don't know how good he is physically. I don't know if he's conditioned enough because again, bowling. If Australia, the thing is, you saw how Indian bowlers, I mean, sorry, the Australian bowlers had to ball when Indian batsmen were batting the entire day in the second innings. I don't think it's very easy for that, for a bowler to come back from a long-term injury and ball like that continuous, for that long. I think if Australians are better off in the second test and second test, third test, and they're batting for longer times, then I think he might find it a bit more tougher to sit and ball in these conditions. And he hasn't bowled in Australia for what even the last test. I don't remember him bowling apart from the first innings of the first game. It's been a while since he played in Australia also. So the getting used to those conditions at this age is very tough. But obviously it comes down to the Indian management and the player. Is the player ready to go into it with having a peak condition, having peak physical levels going into the second test? Can he play? I don't think so. Maybe the fourth and fifth, I would push for fourth and fifth because again, having 1 month in 1.5 month. Wait, when is it? I think we have another month for this. What, fourth and fifth test, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
So I
the
think
fourth test is the Boxing Day test, so
yeah.
26.
So I think fourth and fifth is a better timing for him. But again, you need to realize if you're in the driving seat, I don't think we have to risk him. Like I don't see the necessity for him to just be pushed through, right? Because again,
Yeah,
having him in a better condition, you'll have IPL coming through next, and then we'll have the World Test Championship final if you're playing that, and if not, we'll have to start off. touring England. So this is a long year next year in terms of Test cricket, anyways. So I would rather just phase him in at the right time than just put him into Australia. If he has a relapse in injury, it's going to be tougher. So just for that, rather just get him in lightly.
And suddenly the 4-0 is not looking too daunting a task. If it'll be interesting to see in India can win 3 more tests, of course, on Australian soil. It's going to be a uh, fun month ahead. We've also got the IPL auction done and dusted. So all IPL fans, I'm sure you guys are waiting for the IPL to begin as well. Until then, enjoy some Test cricket. We'll see you soon. Please like and share the video. Subscribe to Sports Kabri. Bye.